And then that 15-foot jump shot of Mike Watson just as the buzzer went off, which gave us the win to come up against Brighton. And the win that we had with Brighton was truly a team effort. It wasn't a star, but it was truly the team that won that game. When you figure that the awesome percentage of a team for their free throws of 77, and Greg Weber's free throw of percentage of 93, you just don't foul a team that's that good. I'm really proud of you. But I'd like to tell the parents, I wish we could have an instant replay on the thoughts of these young men and women as they took the ACT test, the American College Entrance Test, because all our scores are higher than they've ever been. You know, the local newspaper had one of our students' picture in the paper for 4.0, and they mentioned another school that had 4. Well, I want you to know that if you'll notice on the program, we had 4 also, but they had to be weighted in order to put them on the program because we had many students that achieved that well. We have 2 National Merit Scholars, 6 commended National Scholars. On that $560,000 scholarship, it's true, there are 2 military that are worth $150,000 each. But even at that, that leaves $260,000, which is $60,000 more than we've ever had. Truly, we have scholars here. Not just people who are athletes, but scholars as well. We have the highest standards for our people in activities. And for your information, each of our groups average 3.0 or better. That means a B average or better. Our students work hard. I mentioned Greg Weber a minute ago. Not only does Greg do well on the free throw, but he was the academic all-state in addition to being our student body officer. That takes a lot of extra time and effort, but we can truly vouch for all of our students doing very, very well. You see a lot of white tassels here graduating tonight. That means that they've had to carry a 3.76 GPA through their 9th, 10th, and 11th grade and part of their 12th, which in essence is better than an A-. An A- average would be a 3.67, and they've had to do it all these years. So we're proud of these students. We have 6 first-place DECA winners. That's the Distributive Education Clubs of America. They will go on for national contests. Hopefully you'll be able to read about some of our accomplishments in the Crow's Nest, which you should receive in the mail either today or should receive today or tomorrow. I hope that all of our students sitting here have fallen in love with learning. Because if they fall in love with learning, they'll continue it the rest of their lives. And that is what our endeavor is, so that they will continue on forever. Before I go any further, will Ed Swanson please come up here, please? He doesn't know I'm going to call on him to do something. But I'd just like to mention, while he's coming up, the great faculty that we have who are willing to spend the extra time for those who ask and need it. And I want you to know I appreciate both Mr. Boynton and Mr. Zabriskie for the extra effort that they put forth, their dedication. I'd like to congratulate the Lakers on the way they give that great Laker welcome to people that are visiting us and also our newcomers, and especially this year to our foreign exchange student, Lena Puka from Finland. Lena, I'll always cherish this, and I really appreciate the great effort that you've made in contribution to Bonneville. You know, we could talk all night about your accomplishments. We're not going to live in the past. We're going to move on to the future. It isn't over. It's just begun. You've heard some of the speakers talk about that commencement is a beginning. I want you to know that it's the beginning of the best life has to offer you. When I talk about what life has to offer in your future, I seniors, talking to Mrs. Richmond, our vocational counselor, and he said, how do I know what I want to be when I get out of school? Maybe they haven't invented my job yet. But it is a great time in your life, students. Richard L. Evans said, time is crowding you right now, pushing you right through your teens to your 20s. Youth isn't a permanent property of anyone. It's a corridor we pass through without lingering very long. There is no stopping place for any of us, and all of us, young and old, should respect each other. And I think that you have done a great job in your respect. You've done a great job in your winning ways, and because of that, Ed gave a poem that only Ed can give, and that's something that you've selected for your theme. Ed, would you take a minute, please?
For those of you who were at the assembly, where the student body officers, where we turned over our office, we mentioned that, or I mentioned that the song that we did our slideshow to during our student body officer election assembly was one that many students did not understand the words to. And so during my speech, my farewell speech, I wrote down the words to this song because it has a lot to do with this graduating class. And it indeed describes our class, and the name of this song is Winners Take All. So I'd just like to read the words to you this time. Life's been good, life's been bad. Now I know what I have has taken its toll on me. Yes, we give and we take. What we get is what we make. Believe that dreams come true. Life is crazy. Winners fool no one. The price is high when you keep the score. Take your souls and your goals to the top. Together we stand. We won't take no fall. Because we're winners, and winners take all. Yes, we've loved, burned by faith, but for once set the record straight. Time does heal all wounds. We have laughed, we have cried, paid our dues. Yes, we've turned the tide. Mistakes are far and few. We need no guidance. Our aim is true. Down the road, there were many tolls, but we know because we told what we needed. Together we stand. We won't take no fall because we're winners, and winners take all.
A few last remarks. Bernard Shaw has stated, people are always blaming their circumstances for what they are. We don't believe in circumstances. The people who get on in this world are people who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them. Decide what you want to be, pay the price, be what you want to be. Your destiny is in your hands, and your important decisions are your own to make. A few years ago, I was at the Air Force Academy, and there's a large granite monument that says, man's flight through life is sustained by the power of his knowledge. Is sustained by the power of his knowledge. Vince Lombardi has said the quality of man's life is in direct proportion to his commitment to excellence, regardless of his chosen field of endeavor. What we know at any given point is less important than what we continue to learn. Keep that love for learning alive. I congratulate you, Lakers. Have a great life. Now will the Lakers please stand? I'd like to express appreciation to the school board, the district administration, and you parents who have made this possible for these young men and women to achieve these goals. And so, Mr. Crompton, as principal of Bonneville High School, on behalf of the faculty and administration, it is my pleasure to present to you this class of 1985, whose names appear on the program of the day, who have met all of the requirements for graduation by the State Board of Education and the Weber County School District, and are deemed worthy of this distinction. I recommend that they be awarded their diploma of graduation.
Superintendent Wyatt, Principal DeYoung, Presidents Weber and Thorpe, parents, relatives, and especially you 85 Lakers. This is a great program. I'll tell you, the speakers and the music are really a class act. This is my favorite place to be on graduation. I want you Lakers to know that I'm aware of the anxiety that graduation night causes. I want you to relax because I'm going to be short. I know that the time I take tonight is probably, if it is short, is a lot more important to you than what I say. But I would like to talk to you tonight, just a moment, about failure, specifically the fear of failure. This may seem odd at the time of your educational success and congratulations, but as you move on into the next phase of your life, I think it is a good time to talk to you about the fear of failure. We Americans do not understand, nor do we live well with failure, yet it is an inevitable part of the human experience. No one can win them all. We have made a national fetish of success and victory, maybe to a dangerous degree. I believe in achievement, but I believe the critical factor is the effort rather than the result. Who can do more than their best? Who can ask more than to give the most one has? UCLA's great coach, John Wooden, defines success as a peace of mind, which is the direct result of the self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best you are capable of becoming. This sounds so simple, but it is not commonly accepted. Success in our society is equated with wealth, power, prestige, and notoriety. These are dubious assets. Some crave and possess them, but find no happiness or fulfillment in their application. Clearly, they are not equally available to all of us, but a successful life is possible for each of us. My argument is that as a people, we try to shut out the realities of failure. This is unhealthy. Each of us will fail at things. Failure is no disgrace. He who never fails can never have tried very hard, and how do we know our limits without failure? I am not here in your hour of achievement to urge you to fail or express the hope that you will not succeed. I am here only to urge that you accept failure naturally as an indispensable part of the human condition, and above all, not fear it. Fear of failure is a product of our society, and I think a sickness. Fear of failure can be a cruel and self-denying inhibition. To give one's utmost makes a rich life, and we cannot do that if we fear failure. In fact, those who try the most will fail the most. President Theodore Roosevelt was an example of a person, I think, who gave life his best shot without the fear of failure. He said, "It is not the critic who counts, not he who points out where a strong man may stumble or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marked by dust and sweat and blood, he who tries and comes up short again and again, but he who knows the great enthusiasm, a great devotion, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best, if he fails, at least he fails while doing greatly, so that his place will never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. I object to the notion that winning is everything. Victory may be sweet, but it is a fleeting moment. Certainly that you have done your best is durable, and it is the basis for self-respect, which is the ultimate in the human satisfaction. Few people learn from success, but there is often much to learn from failure. Yet no one can learn from failure without admitting it first. I believe in competition and I like to win. But I deny that the only thing in life that matters is winning, or that winning should be the goal of a successful life. Winning and losing are inseparable, and it is the effort involved that means much more than either. So graduates, in conclusion, as someone you did not know and you really did not ask to come here and stand before you to deliver unsolicited advice that you're once going to forget, let me summarize 4 short guidelines that may help you in dealing with failure in a positive way in your future life. Number 1, strive for the self-respect that comes from giving your best to whatever you do, and measure success by the degree to which you are at peace with yourself. 2, accept failure as a natural and unavoidable, and do not allow the best that is in you to be stunted by the fear of failure. 3, admit your failures easily, not only because it is neurotic to deny them, but because to fail the first time may be the best way to learn how to master the problem the next time. And also because failure in one direction may be the only road to mastery in others. And 4, do not envy the glamour and the success in others. There is so much less to them than meets the eye. To each of you, I wish a successful life of self-respect based on your best efforts exerted without the fear of failure. Thank you very much for letting me be part of your graduation. And now, on behalf of the Weber County Board of Education, I accept the Bonneville High graduating class of 1985, having fulfilled all the graduation requirements of the state of Utah and the Weber County school system. Will the graduating class please rise and receive your diplomas?
Darcia Dudman, Senior Class Secretary.
Gregory Scott Thorpe, Senior Class President.
Jennifer V. Latham, Senior Class Representative.
Todd Lawrence Corey, Senior Class Vice President.
Nicole Palmer, Student Body Secretary.
Evan Dana Barrow, Senior Class Senator.
Cheryl Ann Blake, Student Body Historian.
Gary Norman Lilly, Senior Class Senator.
Lisa Daniels.
David M. Perry, Senior Class Senator.
Shelley Lynn Hanson, Highest Honors.
Larry Weston Shadow Jr., Senior Class Senator.
Lori Ballas.
Christopher Allen Tullis, Senior Class Senator.
Stacy Ann Krogh.
Gregory Tash Weber, Student Body President.
Laurel Joy Best.
Eddie Allen Swanson, Student Body Vice President.
Anna Christine Adams.
Brett Allen Blake.
Mary Catherine Bachman.
Paul Eugene Roberts, highest honors.
Tiffany Ann Barlow.
David Matthew Slider.
Cynthia Ann Allred.
Randy Melvin Buck.
Lisa Buchanan.
Christopher Jeffrey Bijou.
Pam Call.
David Sean Bush.
Nadine Castlemane.
Charles Foster Green.
Christine Grunwald.
Paul Howard Dunn.
Joy Federn.
Michael Kent Bingham.
Kaylin Bell.
Michael A. Bell.
Tamara Lynn Beardall.
John Charles Beckett.
Carrie Barnett.
Michael Patrick Asbell.
Lisa Bear.
Corey Ansley.
Pamela Ann Bindrup.
Jimmy Allen.
Deborah Archibald.
Brad Allen.
Lana Michelle Adranya.
James C. Allen.
Nancy Allen.
Todd Allen.
Michelle Lee Amalfitano.
Kevin Michael Anderson.
Deborah Michelle Betchert.
Keith Justin Archibald.
Leslie Ann Baker.
Troy Wayne Baker.
Stacy Lynn Valentine.
Brett Anthony Barlow.
Brenda Gay Barton.
Anthony Eli Begay.
Wendy Beckstead.
Brad R. Byers.
Jennifer Ann Bergman.
Richard Earl Chambers.
Laurie Ann George.
Aaron Michael Frankie.
Lisa Handley.
Craig Thomas Peterson.
Wendy Lee Jorgensen.
Darren Robert Miller.
Karen Frances Jacqueline.
Shane Gary Gall.
Bridget Ann Charlesworth.
Kurt Corden.
Gina Carbajal.
Thomas James Carter.
Tana Lynn Call.
Tyler R. Bybee.
Jamie Don Bybee.
Richard Carl Burrows.
Susan Jane Butler.
Michael E. Burnett.
Michelle Ann Budrow.
Kurt Charles Bergash.
Holly Marie Brigham.
Scott Bowman.
Karen Eileen Boyce.
Ryan Bowman.
Michelle Bird.
Bill Bachetto.
Tammy Brager.
Michael Jesse Berzino.
Heidi Christine Brower.
Todd Roland Burke.
Dana Deanne Berge.
Roger E. Bush IV. The third.
Gina Diane Butters.
Richard Corey Crosley.
Stephanie Call.
Alton Brent Cahoots.
Tracy K. Callister.
James Stewart Christensen.
Kelly Carlton.
Lance Dean Jorgensen.
Holly Hayes.
Ronald Charles Hill.
Lillian Jensen.
Michael Douglas Moore.
Brenda Sue Nance.
Brian David Sears.
Kathy Ann McBurney.
John Allen Reeder.
Heather Forsgren.
Jeffrey Dale Gilbert.
Stephanie Farr.
William Lee Gerard.
Jody Lynn Cutler.
Joseph John Yearline IV.
Dina Marie Ingeman.
Kevin Mark Fuller.
London Draper.
Nathan Porter Foster.
Patricia Shawn Dempsey.
Michael Eric Florence.
Linda Davis.
Brian Anders Erickson.
Carol Ann Corbridge.
Lane Eddy.
Terry Lynn Sinera.
Troy Douglas Delaire.
Marianne Christensen.
Daryl Grant Eddington.
Monica Lee Clark.
Scott D. Elliott.
Christy Cummings.
Gregory Scott Evans.
Michelle DeGroot.
Stephen R. Ford.
Pamela Renee Dick.
Peter David Francis.
Kimberly Jane Duke.
David Ned Gallego.
Tracy Erickson.
Brian James Joseph George.
Amy Katrubis.
Michael David Gibby.
Julie Diane Ferris.
Kurt R. Gillette.
Penny Suzette Lundell.
Sean D. Poole.